Hi everyone, I'm ZAMOKUHLE Vilakazi. I'm 25 years old from Boksburg and the previous title holder of Miss Hotlegs South Africa in the year 2023 and currently Miss Multiverse South Africa 2025. Wow, the pageantry journey has been absolutely amazing.
Hi, welcome back to another exciting episode of the THEKJREALTALK podcast. Today's episode, we are joined by one of those special people in the pageant space. Today's episode, we are joined by Miss Hotlegs South Africa 2023.
Yes.
Yo, welcome to the safe space. Welcome to the pageant conversation. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. I'm actually very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We want to talk about your 2023 reign and how it was, how did you just maneuver through everything, and you want to talk about your advocacy as well, but yeah, let's just talk about 2023 and obviously the finalist journey and on how it was for you, and let's talk about that.
Okay, so hi everyone. Those of you who don't know me, I am ZAMOKUHLE Vilakazi. I'm from Boksburg and I'm a young 25-year-old turning 26 this year. So it's a bit nerve-wracking, getting old. I was Miss Hotlegs 2023 and wow, what a fantastic year that was, I started modeling when I was the age of 6 already. Really? Actually 5. Yes, actually 5 from a crash already. I did my first pageant in a cute little pink suit. It's like I can still remember it like from the other day, So from there, I continued, I just loved the stage, continued into primary, where I won other competitions as well. And then at a point, I unfortunately grew up, comes high school, being a teenager, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm trying to be cool now, all these things. You know how it is, Exactly. And then stopped modeling for a while, continued with high school, did my studies. I have a degree in brand building and management. So I went to Cape Town for that for a few years, started working, and then I decided, you know what? I've gone through everything that I have to go through that my parents say, okay, that's a tick. And now it's like kind of time to do me, and luckily for me in Cape Town, I met quite some amazing people. One of my friends, Os Tembele, is the one who introduced me to Miss Hotlegs. So he was hosting the Miss Hotlegs pageant in 2022. And he was like, girl, you could do this. I saw the girls, I met them, and I feel like this is something that you would love to be a part of. And I was like, okay, Miss Hotlegs, like, what is this? I mean, do we have to have hot legs or like, what is it,
First, but also, that's what I actually thought of, like, okay, what is the purpose of this, organization? Like, are they talking about fitness legs or what?
So I was also like, okay, what's Miss Hotlegs, and do I have to have all these things, but as you get to immerse yourself in the organization, it is so much more than that. Obviously we do value someone who has fantastic body in terms of keeping healthy, making sure that you prioritize exercise, just being healthy overall and wellness. But it's more than that. It's just like a normal pageant where we empower women, make sure that women are learning a lot about not only themselves, but growing themselves, personally and in terms of education as well. So yeah, Miss Hotlegs is definitely more than just having some fantastic legs, but it's definitely more about women empowerment, making sure that young girls follow their dreams and that we give them the platform and the space to be able to explore that.
This is amazing, How do you handle the criticism and the negativity and feedback, especially like when you're getting old? I'm not saying you're getting old like that. But, the age no longer young. age is slowly like catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you handle the criticism and you being mature about them and how do you do that?
So, with my reign, I was lucky enough to still feel young at the time. I felt like I was coming back fresh, finding my feet again. So I still felt like, okay,
Yeah.
I can still kind of do it. But at the same time, because I was out of the game for so long, it was like, oh my word, do I even know how to walk? Do I know how to talk?
Yeah.
Do I know how to, do all these things? So it was, I think, more self-pressure than it was people externally, because, pageantry is one of those things where if you put yourself out there, the crowd vibrates off of the energy that you give.
That's-
And fortunately for me, what I was giving to them seemed like it was something that, was bigger than me myself, because everyone was like, oh, you're so fantastic. And, you can really do this. We're vouching for you. So everyone was very supportive of that. But at the same time, for me, it was like, okay, what am I diving into? Is this something that I really want to do? Is this, a future that I want to build for myself? And so I think more of that self-criticism was a big part for me, but my friends and family were super supportive in everything. So yeah, it's just kind of learning to embrace yourself and be like, you know what, as much as I haven't done this for a while, it's a fire that I feel within me. And yeah, I just have to keep on going. Luckily, uNkulunkulu ukhona. So always praying and leaning on him, and then kind of just, taking that brave step. If you don't take that step, you can't expect your potential to live out. Yeah.
So that's amazing. What advice? Because I'm actually like thinking about people that take breaks. Do you think it's advisable for people to take breaks, and maybe long breaks as well? Because I feel like at some point you kind of have lose that memory.
Yeah.
You forget the speech. You like you lose your groove.
Yeah.
So like, what advice do you have for the people that maybe thinking that taking a break, you'll be able to rethink and do all of those things?
I always feel like everything happens in divine timing.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be where we are when we're there.
Yeah.
So I would advise people to take a break if they feel like they need to take a break. I am someone that's very social, but at the same time, I love to protect my space, because with protecting my space, then I get to fill myself, and not just give and not have anything left to give, So I advise people definitely taking a break if they feel like they need to be able to recoup and find themselves again, so that they're able to, help and do better. And I just think, Uguti, whenever you do take a break, it comes with a lot of thinking. And that's always great, because like for me, for example, as much as I've had my reign in 2023, and I am contending for Miss Multiverse 2025 in Mexico this year.
Oh, you're going international.
Yeah, we're going international.
Yeah.
So I, for one, had to take a break.
Okay.
Because there are so many things that I had to think about. Okay, why am I doing this? What's my purpose in this? What do I want to achieve? What value do I add? And what message from within me that I truly feel that I can do every day.
Yeah.
Because stepping into pageantry, you are someone that's going to speak for the community, speak for South Africa, and speak for the nation and the world overall, and so understanding what I can speak on passionately and every day without tire was something that I felt like, okay, I need to take a break and understand exactly what I want to achieve from this. And also just take a break to understand myself,
Conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, a lot of models, they think that I want to jump into another pageant. As soon as I win this one, I want to jump into another one. But I think we don't have enough time to process, okay, why didn't I win that pageant?
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? Having that conversation with yourself. Because sometimes we think that, okay, I want to have many titles.
Yeah.
As much as I, my at your place, when you fill up, when you go to that room and you're like, oh, okay, that crown. But you're having so much. Sometimes you can be, blessed to win all those things, all those crowns, but then you're not learning anything.
Exactly.
So sort of basically you're just caught up in the moment.
I 100% agree with you, because that was something that I also did at a point, after I won my crown and after winning all these competitions for years when I was younger, it was almost like, okay, I'm good at this and I can be this perfect princess that speaks well, and this is just what I'm going to do because I'm good at it. But being good at something doesn't mean there's no room for improvement. There's so much more room for improvement. And as you get older and go deeper into these things, you need to understand more and you need to keep on brushing yourself, and making sure that you are in the best shape that you can be to be able to do what you're supposed to do and what you want to do, So as much as gathering crowns is fantastic because they're very pretty, and, diamonds are a girl's best friend, but it's still very important to know why you're there. Still very important to kind of just make sure that you check in with yourself, or would say, okay, what are the things that I've gone through that can make me now a better person for the next thing that I'm getting, and how can I be less perfect, in collecting these crowns, but how can I show up more authentically and more me so that it comes with more purpose, Yeah.
Interesting, What do you hope for to use basically, like, how do you plan to use your platform or maybe your advocacy to better the society or the community, as people in general?
Yeah.
What do you hope for?
So so part of my break actually was part of just understanding the greater community around me. Because you win the crown on your own, you forget, Uti, the crown is not yours. It has been given to you, by society. Exactly. Okay. So you didn't just crown yourself, So I've been trying to get to definitely know my community better, understand exactly what's going on in society at the moment, South Africa and internationally, and how we are involved. So particularly for me, I'm very passionate about women and women empowerment. I love the step that we are moving forward in as South Africa, for government to be empowering women, making sure that our decisions and our voices are heard and taken action upon, and that we can be able to determine our own paths, become leaders that are there and that are heard, but still definitely advocating for femininity, being able to still be that nurturer, still be that soft woman, but that can still have a big voice, and that comes with a lot of women being understood in terms of their mental health, their personal, emotional intelligence. So I want to bring that together, that femininity and that emotional intelligence that we have, and that understanding and motherhood and sisterhood, vibe that we have going on, to be mixed with economic action and leadership and women just taking space. That's kind of just the community I want to build, making sure that women today aren't just seen as, props, because unfortunately, as much as the world has changed, we are still very much in the same spot in many ways. But as we go on and move on in this direction, I feel like women can still show up beautifully and strong. So I like the fact of education coming into that, teaching women to still respect themselves, love what they do, whether it's sports or whatever, maybe not respect is not the right word, but teaching women to still be able to understand themselves and be themselves, but be empowered by education, be empowered by knowing that, okay, it doesn't end here for me. Like, I can be the president if I would like to, so that education element is also something that I want to come together in and maybe build like some sort of leadership and mentorship mixed with some therapy and psychology, so that we can show up authentically, but smart and ready.
That's amazing. How do we better sisterhood? Because I feel like that's the important conversation in pageantry, right? So how do you think that we can better the sisterhood in pageantry?
I think we can better the sisterhood in pageantry by as much as it's a competition, by almost eliminating that competition era in certain factors, it's very good to be competitive and obviously go against your sisters, because some of your sisters are the best at something and you are the best at something, and you can learn a lot from that, so I really enjoy the element of boot camps in pageantry to kind of get the sisters together, supporting each other, and learning from each other before the competition, because then it gives you almost like a point of saying, okay, if I do win this or if I don't win this, I know who to go to improve on this. I know who to go to if I want to, learn about this thing further. And I think it's very important to also have women just events for us, and pageantry girls especially, workshops on pageantry from people that we find as role models out there, to come together and be like, okay, she does this, she does that, this is who she is, and that's who that one is. And just bringing ourselves together in one space and not always just being in that element of competition, because
I'm better than her.
like I'm so much better than her.
You know how, because I think some girls as well, they have that tendency of I can say pride, it's valid for me to say pride, as you say, like competition era, I don't know. So I don't know, maybe for your experience, you might not be as humble as like other people, because I also feel like, the experience as well as a person, also teaches you to be humble.
Zini, humility is one of those things that you absolutely just have to have. And you have to always remain grateful, because if you get something big, you also have a big responsibility.
True.
It's not just as simple as, okay, this is who I am now and I'm just the queen and that's what I'm going to do. Like I said earlier, your community is the one that empowered you, and it's up to you to actually live up to that role. Pride and it is quite a big thing, because it does get to your head, like, oh my gosh, I'm Miss Hotlegs. It does kind of get to your head, but you always just have to remind yourself that there's a greater purpose to it. That's why entering these competitions is not just about winning the crown. You need to know exactly where you're coming from and make sure you are humble in that reign, because it could be taken away from you at absolutely any time, but just understanding Uguti, be grateful for where you're at, and
because I also live up to whatever God gives. He can also take it.
He can take away. He
can also take it. So give me the top 5. Okay, let me just say people that you look up to and pageantry space. It could be outside pageantry. It could be just maybe models that you like. That one, I feel like one day I could just feature with her, no more walk.
So in and kind of out of the pageantry space, but around it, I respect Coach Merv so much. Merv runs lots of modeling campaigns for kids and for young women. So I love that mix of the kids and the young woman, because he's always got a fresh mind, he's always got fresh ideas, and people that advocate for models beyond just the walk and beyond just the fashion and the statement. But are you okay, Zamo? How can we rebrand you to feel like you are now going towards the woman that you want to be? So I love Merv. He's fantastic. And Bonang, obviously, Queen Bee.
Come on.
She has always been like such an icon for me since I was young. I just love the strength that she has. Sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, I don't have that discipline that I want to have, just to lock in. And one thing about Bonang, she will lock in and focus and say, this is what I'm doing and this is where I'm going. So I really respect that about her. Other people, I love Michelle Obama. I feel like she's a mixture of fun and also just a regular girl that comes from where she comes from, but super smart, educated, and has that elegance and natural, just, poise. So I love that about her. Her books are also really amazing, also touching on authenticity. So I love that. Who else? I have so many. Connie Ferguson, her wellness and fitness journey for me is so inspiring. Like, she's always in the gym, also very family orientated, strong woman, who has many different hats. I love people that have diverse personalities, because I also do. I'm not just a queen, but when I get to the sports field, I'm ready.
Really?
I'm there. Yeah. I love sports.
Like what sports specifically?
Everything. Netball, soccer, golf. I'm there. So I'm
Can
just...
you swim?
Sorry?
Can you swim?
I can't actually swim.
Okay.
I was actually taking swimming lessons for Miss Multiverse. I could swim before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could swim before, but not jump into a river type of swim, So I did go for those lessons, making sure that, okay,
you saw that.
if they want me to jump in, I'm jumping in. Yeah.
Let's talk about your Miss Multiverse. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Miss Multiverse.
Miss Multiverse. What are you mostly looking forward to? Let's talk about the organization now. What do they stand for? The values. I think that's an important thing, conversation we need to have as well when you're entering a pageant. Don't look the glitz, the glamour.
Yeah.
Think about the So when we talk about the values and set an organization, right? So do you believe that some people don't really look at it in a way of, okay, is this pageant, is this organization really aligned with what I believe in? Yeah. So what do you think? What's so special about Miss Multiverse?
So I'm greatly honored to be Miss Multiverse South Africa. Miss Hotlegs organization actually sponsored me to be able to go to Miss Multiverse, which is absolutely amazing. So
it's like a one step at a time.
It's one step, it's a journey, and I love it that it doesn't end there. Very excited to be going international, but it's also very important to know Tuguti international is no joke. That's some serious stuff, especially because the criteria maybe here in South Africa that we understand is not the same as overseas. The preparation for us sometimes can be quite difficult. So I feel like people always need to consider that factor. Uguti, you need to be organized. As a pageant queen that dreams of doing these things, and it may seem simple to say, but you have to have a passport.
It's not from there.
Yeah, you have to have a passport, and you have to understand how the visa process works, and you need to understand where to go, the emails to answer, following up, So firstly, having that strength to be able to take that journey and understand it just for yourself as well as a brand. But in terms of Miss Multiverse, it's important to choose a pageant that works for you. And that's why I opted for Miss Multiverse as much as I had other options. Because Miss Multiverse they have a slogan that says, "Are you the strongest woman on earth?" And I love that. I was like, okay, this is very, okay, what do you mean am I the strongest woman on earth? Do I have to pick up weights, or what is this,
Yeah.
But it's a mixture of physical strength. So you have to train. I've been doing lots of heavyweight training, stamina, making sure that I'm on point, eating healthy, because you have to physically also look prepared. Because models that side are, very small. Yeah, so you have to physically be prepared. It's also about intellect. There's an IQ test that you take to make sure that, okay, are you sharp enough? Do you know what's going on around the world? So I love the fact that it got me into a lot more reading and a lot more newspapers as well. What's going on? Okay, G20 is coming up. What are we talking about in the G20? Which made me more involved in my society as well here in South Africa. They also go into, obviously, the walking. So, making sure you know how to walk. We go into outfits.
Yeah.
Can you prepare an outfit that is suitable for the pageant? Because there's requirements, colors. Some of your props can't be too big. Some of your props can't be too small. So it makes a space for creativity in that sense where you need to be creative on, I want to show up, but I want to show up authentically and still within the rules. There's also a lot of culture there, you know, the fact that we're doing it in Mexico and all these ladies from around the world are coming around. I feel like it's such a beautiful space for us to, you know, be able to experience a place that is very rich in culture. So I love that about that. And we also get to do our talents. So we get to be ourselves. You know, we do talent there. So I still don't know what I'm going to do. But looking forward to, you know, tapping into all the things that I used to love, like poetry and dancing and all those things, but still make it authentically South African. Miss Multiverse also challenges us just normally. So in the pageant, there is a part where we go out as the ladies to, you know, a dancing establishment in a club where you are obviously allowed to indulge in alcohol and whatever you feel like you want to have, but they're watching. You know, how do you navigate yourself in that space?
That comes with you know, discipline.
Yeah.
Are you disciplined enough?
Yeah.
Can you represent our brand?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. For me, it's very interesting to be able to think to myself, okay, Zamo, like without people watching, who are you and what are you doing? You know, like and not put on so much of a pretense, you know, because sometimes I feel like we always try to be overly perfect, but they're looking to crown a lady that is herself, but can still be responsible and represent the title well. So because it gives me that challenge in so many ways, you know, I think it's the perfect space for me to be able to come out hopefully with a crown, you know, and yes, you know, but if not, come out knowing myself better, stepping into the next path that I'm going to very confidently, you know, and having that international pageant under my belt to say, when I want to represent South Africa, whether it's Miss SA, Miss World, or whatever it may be, knowing Uguti, I know myself and I know how I behave and how I interact, and I'll be able to do this.
Yeah, I think as the confidence starts from okay, from my point.
Yeah.
From my point. Okay, you go into Miss Multiverse, and I'm speaking positively.
Yeah.
For my this is KJ. This is KJ disclaimer. I'm speaking positively, right? That you're going internationally. You're gonna represent the society. You're gonna represent us. You're gonna represent, and you're gonna get the crown.
I'm getting the crown. Yeah. To be honest, I also really feel like I am in a space where I can get the crown. It has been difficult though, you know, because last year I was ready. I was like, okay, December's here, Mexico. I got my visa, and last minute, just things didn't happen to go well, and I wasn't able to attend last year, which is why I'm attending this year.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I felt so ready, and I was like, yes, you know, I'm gonna do this. So it took a lot. I took a blow. I won't lie. Like I took a blow. I was a little bit, you know, under the weather for a while, feeling like, oh, but God, why? You know, I had prepared so much, invested so much. But at the same time, when I look at that space that I was in at the time, I think I would have shown up more as an act and less as ZAMOKUHLE. Yeah, because I was so hyper focused on, okay, we have to do this, we have to win, I need to look presentable, I've done this, and I've been on my diet, and it's been great. But I forgot, Uguti, okay, but Zamo, like, this is you, and who are you, and why are you going here, you know? And God really said, like, we'll come back to that. And I've learned so much this year by having just peace, silence, making my life as boring as possible, because not everything always has to be exciting and on the move. And I feel like I was going so fast that I was going to get there and make small mistakes, be frustrated with myself, and not be able to fully be present in that moment. So going into this year, I'm very excited to just kind of be present and have more sense of if I win or not, I'm happy, 100% at peace and grateful. But definitely I am a super competitive person. So I will be going there and aiming to come back with the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for such an amazing conversation. And then people that, look up to you and they're like, oh, okay, Zama from Eastern. By the way, we have a title holder from Eastern again. I actually had, what's her name? Oh, geez, I forgot her name. Kylie.
Right.
Yeah. So
yes, that's my girl. Oh my goodness.
So this is second queen from. Oh, let me just say this is second queen.
I crowned her. Yeah. Really? Yes, I did.
She has your title.
No, not my title. She's the teen. Is it teen? Yeah, I think she's teen.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So the fact that we have the two people from this Hotlegs organization, I'm so excited, man. And man, if you want to be part of this conversations and create a meaningful conversation. By the way, this podcast is not about pageantry only. It's about having a healing conversation, having an informative conversation. Come on, guys, we're here together. Yeah. So, what advice do you have for people that look up to you? And as our second girl from Israel, you're gonna represent us internationally. Yeah. So, what advice do you have for people that look up to you?
What advice do I have?
Yeah.
So I think people that look up to me, firstly, Nyabonga, for giving me the opportunity to be able to be viewed as someone that is worthy.
Yeah.
And in the same way you view me as worthy, I always say, make sure you know that you are worthy as well.
True.
You are so deserving of everything that you have. Keep working hard. Make sure you have a good balance, because as much as we can push ourselves, it's important to make sure we are good mentally and we are understanding ourselves so that we can do better. Always know ukuthi kufunda kupheli and makungapheli. Continue to, make sure you master your craft. Whatever your craft is, you can do better. Always search for opportunity because it's there. Pray, and trust God if you are religious. But yeah, just make sure Uguti, love yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, is just love yourself. And once you love yourself, everything will gravitate towards you and love you back. And yeah, just continue going. You can't give up. You only have one life, and yeah, just do it. There's opportunity out there. Identify your talents, use technologies that are coming up to ask, AI, for example, how can you use that and help yourself in your journey? So yeah, just keep exploring, keep digging, keep doing you. And yeah, I think that's my advice.
Thank you so much, Zama, for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. I don't know about
that.
So yeah, I wish you all the best. And I hopefully the next conversation we're about to have, we're talking about the crown.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying it into existence.
Let's manifest it. Yes.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. And
thank you.
Continue to shine. Audio from Istrand, and yeah, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.